Hi there, Mike Young here from BeyondYourWeddingDay.com. What if I said to you, know your role? Doesn't that kind of have a negative connotation to it? Does it kind of conjure up images of like 1950s and guys sitting around smoking cigars telling their wife, know your role? Well, see, I kind of look at it a little differently because as a former player and coach of basketball for many, many years, I understand that roles to a team are extremely important. Not everybody is going to be able to be the top scorer. Not everybody is going to be the best defensive player. Each person on the team has their role, and they all are just as important as the other to making the team a success. And the same is true for your marriages. So, when we talk about roles, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. In fact, it can be a very important thing in your marriage to decide how you're going to play those roles out. What does it mean to be a wife? What does it mean to be a husband? Who's going to do what chores around the house? Who's supposed to be the spiritual leader of the family? Those types of things are all important roles that you have to decide how they're going to play out in your marriage. And another very important one is who should earn the money. And kind of going along with that is who should take care of the kids, because usually they're hand in hand. One person does one, takes care of the kids, the other person earns the money. And I think, in my opinion, that is a vital question to answer in your marriage. So let's look at a few things to kind of guidelines to go along with that. The first one is that you should definitely be discussed before marriage. That question of who's going to earn the money, who's going to stay home with the kids, if anyone is, and so forth. And if you haven't discussed it already and you're already married, you need to discuss it now, because that's huge to kind of know where everybody stands on that. He might think one thing, she might think another thing. You need to get on the same page of that as far as if anyone's going to stay home after babies come, before babies come even, when you first are married, and all that, and get that planned out so everybody knows who's on what page there. So that's important. Secondly, is to realize that things change. Even if you make that plan, things might change. The illnesses come up. Again, the birth of the baby might, things might change once that baby comes. Layoffs. There's things that are going to come up that need to allow you to have some flexibility to change and adapt as you go. The third thing is to decide how committed you are to the process. So in other words, if you decide that, for instance, the husband's going to go make the money, the wife's going to stay home with the kids, if money gets tight, or if he's possibly going to get transferred with his job or any of that kind of stuff, you have to know ahead of time how committed you are to it. Just because finances get tight, as you as a husband have committed to making the money for your family, you can't all of a sudden turn on your wife and say you need to be making more money. That's not fair. So be committed to whatever it is you come up with. And the fourth thing is that appreciation is invaluable. You have to appreciate each other, whatever those roles might be. A role for the stay-at-home mom, for example. Guys, you have to show how much you appreciate all she does for you and for the kids, and constantly be pumping her up and telling her what a great job she's doing. And same wives, make sure to tell your husbands, if they're the main breadwinner, that you appreciate him working hard and making money. And if you continue to show that mutual appreciation, you both will be very happy, and you won't see roles as a negative thing. You'll see it as two people working together to form the strongest unit of a family. Again, this is Mike Young from BeyondYourWeddingDay.com.